Hello and good morning, everyone. Can you guess what we're playing? We're back on Operation Eventide. It's quite early in the morning. I'm kind of waking up, but I finally get me time, so we're back and with the long-awaited episode 2. So we're gonna play that here in a sec. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I think you're ready too. That's why. You're sick. Okay, actually, right after the first episode, I did get sick, so if I did play it the next day, that would be kind of funny, but you're sick. What's the matter? The fuck is with the store? Oh, just cutting edge security system. I apologize, but it appears it's hold on. Okay, warm up. This is warm up. This is just a warm up for the next 5 minutes. That's what's happening here. Oh, just a cutting edge security system. I apologize, but it appears that only someone in my caliber of genius has the intuitive capabilities to understand the mechanics that will allow it to open. Ugh. All right. Brain is awoken now. It's awakened. I'm awakening my eventide. That's more like caliber of psychosis. This is the most complicated slide puzzle I've ever seen. I go through all this trouble just for an inside lock. Because I figured this would happen. She declared behind my shoulder. Does she mean to say this house was designed with the intention to keep me trapped? Just because you have a fancy door doesn't mean I won't escape. I've been out of the loop for 5 years. I'm probably just not up to date on the user-friendly nature of modern doors. Weren't you the one who promised not to run? I never promised, actually. But there's nothing to gain from refuting her. I give up on the door, but don't turn around. Miriam's no more than 2 steps behind me, the distance which hasn't widened since I was freed from her bed. Just stop looking at me like that. There's a few seconds of hesitation before her heels click to the center of the room. This is what my bedroom looks like right now. Actually, okay, I cleaned up just a little bit, but they still close on the floor. Anyways, this is where Miriam led to me. So sorry. Led me to the promise of the living room. Though I don't know much about or what to expect from what I saw before. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just can't believe I'm actually talking to you right now. Neither can I. She's got an interesting look on her face. It's not quite chiding, not quite demanding, but not empathetic in the slightest either. Though, what really irks me is how she failed to state the obvious rebuttal of how crazy I must be to be willing to walk out in public with my guts hanging out in the open. I'm learning so much already. I hope you understand how incredible it is to witness all this coming together. Maybe it's just professional, but that description feels wide of the mark too. Although, she continues unprompted, sits down and crosses her legs on the couch. There's lots of testing to be done. The body is built to emulate human movement, but this is my first time witnessing it in practicality. Are you holding up fine? Unfortunately. She seems uncomfortable. Or she seems comfortable, a little too much, so, but her back straight, completely enthralled by the person in front of her, eyes latching onto any minute movement. Intolerant to the dynamic, I cross my arms and attempt to casually lean against the door, but panic for the second it takes to realize I'm not falling through. I'm just failing to register sensation on my backside. Oh, but don't get me wrong. You're supported thanks to the facilities of your human parts, but for years you were confined in that chamber, and now for you to finally be walking around an exemplar of what was meant to be. Exciting. She rests her chin on her fist. There's no mistaking her pride. But she suddenly regains her upright position. The first order of business is to contingency plan. We'll need for the scheduled filter time. She lifts a pad of paper from the tower of junk on the table and begins scribbling on it with a pen. She pulls from between the couch cushions. Sorry, I don't mean it's not an immediate concern. The filter system took place using the tools in the pod. The next filter would likely be around 2 o'clock. 20 o'clock. I've got time to compress the expeller into a mobile module, a remote option. She puts the tip of her pen against her lips and is dead silent, or is silent for a few seconds before she suddenly looks up at me again, like a deer in headlights, even though I'm literally the one with my back against the wall. You figure something out? No, I just thought I'd explain. I'm solving a replacement of food water, of course. The chemical compound that acted as an external fuel source was supplied to you in regular 12-hour intervals, the same time frame that filtered out unnecessary waste after the energy supplement had been reproduced and circulated into by your remaining organs and refreshing the cooling system. They were condensed into a single process. It seemed like a counterintuitive system at first, but it's allowing you to walk around without supporting now. Why would she say that about her own handiwork? A similar liquid also surrounded you within the tank, which acted as a healing supplement and muscle stimulant, which preserved your original body. Now that you're activating them manually, that part isn't a concern. Please don't say original. You're not helping. The chemicals supplied the energy and vitamins necessary to maintain the intact organic parts, as well as an immunosuppressant to stop infection. They worked in tandem with the big parts used to mechanically emulate every other system that would require your body to function. Oh, besides air, that's regularly produced from the classic respiratory system. ... So, if you don't find a solution, it's likely that your body will not only become malnourished, but begin to reject the metal augmentation, which will inevitably cause infection that will interrupt the functioning of your organs, and then... So basically, without all the wires that kept me bound within the tank, I'm gonna die. Essentially. I thought... Okay. I thought someone else was here. I heard a cough. Why the hell did you think it was a good idea to release me then? That startled me just a little, but the critical condition alarm was was set off when you ejected the wires from your arm, and yet you still listened and responded to me. Your mind seemed to conclude that everything was in place for it to run properly, even though I hadn't ironed out all the details of the more acute functionality that was planned. That's the only thing I can think of for a reason why the sedation suddenly stopped working anyway. Regardless, you are in a state where you can run without an external fuel source for at least a limited period of time. The body that you were intended to wake up includes an automatic filter system, so you won't need my supervision. But you plan to keep me captive here until you're done with that? It's not captivity. We now collaborate in the development of the next stage of your body. So it's all for my own good, right? Of course. Everything I do from now on will go towards the progression. What if I did this again? Please don't pull on those. It's not just for me, right? You're adamant to convince me to listen to you. So I'll bet something is on the line for you too. I'll let go of the stomach wires. If you're so confident that you brought me back to life, why don't I just keep killing myself? Why would you do that? She shakes her head. Besides, you don't need to worry about that, or about what I gain from... the bottom line is, this is the only way. Only way for what? She takes a couple seconds, within which I used to stare at my artificial heel and wonder if I could manage to sink through the floor. To bring you to life, that is. I'm the only one who can. I'm a 1 in a trillion genius technician. If only her little catchphrase was as believable as it is corny. Whatever you are, even if it's truly that you alone built this, it feels much easier to believe that I'm a clone, or some kind of android with false memories. I couldn't possibly be me at all, right? You're no walking myth. Everything you see before you is built off the foundation of your innate human conditions, which had been salvaged after your death. But I didn't die either, really. My pathetic mumble contributes nothing in the ambition of cutting down the word that hangs in the air like a curse. Oh, of course, she tugs on a piece of her hair. Prior to your restoration, I mean. But the work I've done gives your heart the same signals that it would otherwise require to work naturally. It responds and understands. It still has the job to do. When you put it like that, it sounds like my heart could stop beating at any time if your machinery gives out. It could, but a similar malfunction could happen just as easily as in any other person's body too. ... As a means to understand the human body, we boil them down to result the elaborate concepts of chemistry, computer science, and electronics. I've just happened to find a few junctions between what we perceive as nature and mechanical science, or science that understands and sorry. So that's how you see the world. Everybody's just a little machine to you. Not quite. She flicks a speck of dust off her jacket. But as we are assuming a set of absolutely stable laws of nature, with humanity being part of it, can I also break them down into the context of what I don't really understand? If she's trying to reassure me, she's doing a horrible job of it. But she must have really been looking forward to explaining this to someone. I feel hiccup coming, so get ready for that. Okay, never mind. It's because she clearly doesn't see this as dodgy as I do. Why me, then? If you covered me from where I last stood, you must know who I am, right? I'd like to think I know a lot about you. No, clearly she doesn't, at least not enough. Doctors typically can't stomach looking at me for more than half a second, yet she can't manage to stare at anything but for the same span of time. Well, you have your memories to prove that you're you, don't you? Isn't that proof enough? Not at all. It's not at all. Let's say you actually did manufacture this body. Human beings are just advanced machines. Couldn't that mean there's a chance for you that you messed with my head too? That's not even what I said. Also, there would be no point in tampering with your memories. Whatever you say. Hate to break it to you, lady, but it stands as the result of your genius, more willing to wait out the 12-hour timer to push up daisies right on your floor. Unless you want me to kill myself. Or unless you want to kill me yourself. I don't know where I got that from. That is, I get the impression that it's more convenient for your project, if I'm unconscious anyway. You certainly have more vivid imaginations than I expected. Miriam furrows her brow, then stands up and flattens her skirt. Fine. You want me to prove that you're Adele? It'd help. Would it convince you if I got an accomplice? Someone to convince you that it is reality. Someone like Celia Randgrid. Ooh, that's who we were playing as before this video. So if you're watching this part, you should probably go back and watch one before, because we did play her, and we did a little bit of shopping, and then we went home. But I told you to reserve this table. I told you not to reserve this table anymore. It's got the sticky part on my side. Sorry, I mean, it slipped my mind. This corner is just too comfortable. By the time I arrive at the cafe, Miriam's already ordered 2 drinks for us. Hearing her voice is refreshing as I'd hoped to. I'm excited to hear all the funny words she uses, even if I can't understand half of the tangent she goes on. Wow, it seems like you've copied my order again, too. Can't help but try to mimic perfection, huh? Oh, yes, it's difficult to refrain. Never mind, the delivery of her banner is so off. I stopped myself from asking about her work. It's become somewhat of an unsung rule for me, actually. I can't stand talking about it more than she can. But it's clearly a state she's stressed to the bone. She even went through the trouble to invite me out. For once, I have to at least put a smile on her, or smile for her. She's relying on me for that much, which is consolidating yet nerve-wracking thought. It's been a little while, hasn't it? I decided to initiate again, utilizing the people's thousands of superficial conversation starters that have no place between friends. How have you been? Oh, you know, the usual. Is that how you respond to that? Miriam's chewing on her thumb with enough force that blood could splatter from underneath her glove. Whoa, what's got you so nervous? Come on, talk to me. I pull her hand away from her mouth, clasps on our fingers together on the table to stop them from shaking. Tell me what's going on. I'm here for you. She shies away from me, pushing her hands onto her lap. I've had something to get off my chest for a while now. And how do I even begin? What do you mean? There's a matter I need to confess to you, but I'm sorry, Celia. I couldn't possibly explain that it all in a million years. What's she trying to tell me? Gently, her lips quiver. Her eyes are fixed downward, but there's subtle sense of shame in them that remains visible. I made her anxious. I'm hardly more experienced than her, but I never thought of myself as a dense sort. Though I never imagined Miriam would be the type to take an initiative in something like this. No, I've actually never seen her in that way at all until this very moment. She has always expected me to be someone to support her in that way, by not realizing it sooner. Have I been the one pushing us apart? The endless possibilities of ways I must serve Miriam in the future make my head spin a little. Sure, you can. We're friends, aren't we? Miriam, I'll accept your feelings, no matter what or no matter what. Take your time. Adele is alive. What? A cruel joke. Why even say that? The air grows entirely still before I even begin to believe that I'm not dreaming. But you, what? You saw her? I revived her. You can't just, huh? What? Plans have changed. It came out of nowhere. I don't want to hide it from you anymore. I can't. Preposterous. What? Do you remember my lab in my basement? She was there. She never died. I rebuilt her. Unreal. I feel bile rising in my throat. Why couldn't we just have a normal conversation? How come the one person I can manage to smile around would make me want to strangle her? I hear my chair falling behind me and our cups shatter on the floor. I've stood up. I guess my body lost control at some point. I should have known. You'd only call me to peddle your new fancy delusion. I'll care to apologize to the staff and the other patrons for the mess later. You manic crank. This is what you're calling me here for? I thought we were past this. What did you make a clone or something? Forget it. I know she's gone, alright. I thought at least you understood. I wanted anger to carry in my voice, but dampened by nascent tears. It hurts whenever these feelings resurface. It's humiliating that she knows I'm still not over it after so long. I hate confronting the truth on my own, but the fact that my only friend is forcing it out of me? Celia, please. Miriam glances around the table. I'm bouncing my leg out of nervousness, and I see all my stuff on my table jiggling. uh, Miriam glances around at the other tables. I'm sure she hates that everyone's staring. Desperation makes her whatever empathy I'd hoped she had left. It's all true, I swear. I need your help. Of course, you need my help. What have you done besides take advantage of me for the last 5 years? Come here after months of not responding to my messages, push me around, build us up like we're going to have some friendly chat. For Christ's sake, you've never even listened to my advice when we do talk, and you still have that nerve. And it's not me this time. Adele needs... Don't say her name. Miriam has no reason to be afraid of anything. She can't really afford to antagonize her. Any empty threats I would manage to dish out, I know she's heard the same thing 10 times worse before. So, why does she look so scared? Why is she trembling, her voice straining as if she heard herself, or as if she herself doesn't believe what she's saying? Please, Celia, I know she needs you. The jingling of keys is what brings me back to my senses, and the only implication to where I've arrived. Adele is alive. I turned my head up at Miriam's house. For what it's worth, most of my memories of this place are positive. That's probably the only reason I've let myself hear, or I've let myself follow her. If I had an ounce of respect, I would have stormed out of the cafe when I had the chance. If she's resorting to an attempt at convincing me Adele is still alive, then there's a little hope left for her too. The opening of the door cuts my my thoughts short. What door again? Does it even matter? It's Miriam's living room. I almost envy this woman's ability to inject her personality into everything she touches. So, my my query is a ghost in her home. There's no reason for me to be here. Ah, no, 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 not now. Miriam runs off, looking around like she got, like a bird got set free. I used to enjoy counting her loose screws. Now I wonder what I ever saw in her, or as she scrambles up the stairs in her boots. Miriam's collected lots of things here over the years. I wonder what for. The mat in front of her in the kitchen that we got at the antique store, or at the antique store, it's always shifts out of place underneath my feet. The kitchen is cute too. Maybe we'll cook something together again when she's finished being delusional. Her cupboards were always filled with too many mugs for someone living alone. There's her cute chairs, all the different furniture sets, and the coffee table, chipped and worn from use. I swear that one leg is just a centimeter too short. The magazines of questionable content that scattered the surface that she wasn't embarrassed enough to hide this time. The 14 steps to her bedroom. Miriam had disappeared up there a little while ago. I still hear her banging stuff around up there. What's her deal today? I think so. Traces of the times we had fun here are stale. Any remain. Miriam, I call upstairs. I'm gonna leave now. I hope you find what you're looking for. Try to hide my anguish. I'm sure she's trying her best to convince me out of something. This is just embarrassing. I should have told her that I gave up long ago. Oh. As soon as I turn the doorknob, something twitches in my peripheral. That split second, everything else in the entire universe disappeared. My eyes are now fixed on the vision's direction. Adele? What did I just say? Adele. Miriam's planted that terrible word in my head. Adele is gone. Adele left me. Adele might as well never existed. In fact, it'd be better off that way. So why am I still staring at the misshapen pile of blankets in the corner of the room? And why does Miriam even have this many? Adele. I've said it again. Why do I keep saying that? Hearing her name makes my blood run cold. I haven't been able to put syllables together in my head since she died. Till now. Adele. I'm walking towards it. I can't focus on shoving these thoughts out and controlling my body at the same time. I've forgotten the feeling of purpose pumping into my veins, and that alone, Adele. It shifts. There's something here. I force myself to suffocate all the impossible expectations of what I could find underneath this sheet. Adele? White hair. I don't believe it. It's taken everything I've got to erase this hallucination, but it's not going away. I blink, clear my glassy eyes, but that doesn't make the vision disappear. I lift the sheets a little more. My heart stops and color comes into my life again. Unmistakably, it's her. It's her. It's Adele. Are you suffering? Your every cry strikes deep into my heart. It hurts me too. It feels like I'm bleeding out. But these wounds are not fatal. I'm still here. Only can you finish me off. Do not suffer, lover. Your pain brings life to you. This is the taste of love. How sweet is it? Does it quench you? I will keep treating you, so please save me. Let me into your heart. My dearest love, Eventide, with all that you are. I never imagined I'd get to count down the seconds from my death. The moment I felt Celia's presence enter the room, new exciting visions flooded my mind. I wondered if she'd bash my head in first, or start with the stomach wires like I tried. I wondered if it would hurt, or if I'd get to see the look on her face. I'd resolve myself to being grateful. If I had to choose anyone to kill me, it would definitely be Celia. Because in any world where I thought she lived, she'd crush me like metal-clad insect on sight. But strangely enough, the one feeling I'd receive from Philia was remorse. She clings to my steel chest and bows her head underneath my hand. She wept for a while, embracing me and calling me Adele. Shouldn't be the other way around. I'm sorry, Celia. Miriam's still here too, unfortunately. I don't know where to begin, and that's not important, Adele. Or important. Adele is really... She begins massaging my cheeks with her palms. Look at you. You're so pretty, Adele. Oh, your skin is so clear and your jaw is still so sharp. Let me check your eyeballs, or your eyeball for veins. She reaches for my lower eyelid with her thumbs, and I twist my chin away. Wow, I'm sure you're curious how I put it together. Well, firstly, this is the result of the calibration of the motor skills being augmented before the build was finished. Ah, shut up already. I don't care about any of that stuff. I can't keep up with her frantic back and forth. I gather that she doesn't seem or care for the details that caused me to stand here. Well, sitting on the floor now, only that I am. Ah, Adele is really here. Are you healthy? She rose from the comatose this morning. Astoundingly healthy, actually. The musculoskeletal build has been holding up remarkably. Miriam continues to lecture to no one. As Celia continues to prod me, she pinches my cheeks while staring deep into my eyes like she needs constant affirmation of my existence. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. Me too. It's the first thing I managed to say to her. Afterwards, she hugs me again. I haven't decided how to feel truthfully. As I explained to Miriam before she left, I'm not sure if this is the way to convince me that this isn't a virtual reality. I mean, sure, this is definitely Celia. She looks the same, she feels the same, she smells the same. But the truth is that Celia and I were never supposed to see each other again. Quit doing that. Celia takes her finger out of the mechanical shoulder joint. She smiles at me like she's proud of herself. You know, I was almost certain that Miriam died too. She'd been holed up here for so long. I was surprised she wasn't growing mold. What kind of fucked up joke was that? Celia, Miriam scoffs. Get out. Yeah, when I dragged you outside myself. Why are you here though? For you. No, I mean, I get cut off by her wrapping her arms around me again. I pat her back with my human hand lightly. Why here? I live close by. This town is so small that pretty much every other person you've seen before, and I just happen to see Miriam all the time. The second bewildering fact is that Celia would choose to hang out with someone like Miriam. That is, when you forced me to hang out with you, of course. Ah, so you admit it. She squeezes me, satisfied, before completely letting go. So, she lives here. Celia lives here now. Adele wasn't convinced this is real life. I see. It's like a mother talking to a babysitter about a rowdy child. Can you blame me? I'm hardly convinced myself. She smiles back at me, but it really is you. After all, I'm very grateful. I notice I'm still holding on to Celia's arm. For balance? Either way, she must have taken that as an invitation to return to her investigation. She stays with me for a few more moments before taking my hands. Well, it's getting late. Come on, Adele. Time for us to go home, Ari. Together. What? Celia, considering the circumstances, I'd advise against that approach. How come? She's better now, right? According to the functionary examinations, but the details of her condition are inconclusive. She appears to be fine, but we're working out the solutions to keep her that way, most of which will require Adele's presence here with my equipment, and don't worry, I'll see to it. I'll take good care of her. That's not the issue. If something were to go wrong by chance when she's out, come on, I only live a few blocks down. What's the worst that could happen? Celia's puppy eyes are clear behind her grabby fingers. I'm not sure that's what she was getting at. Adele, you're telling me you'd rather stay here? Well, no, now that you mention it. You're welcome to come back here and Adele whenever you like, and see Adele whenever you like. But for now, it's necessary that I am here to supervise, since there's a risk of her falling into a critical condition. How dare you? I would never do that to her. That's not what I meant. Fine. Since Miriam is being so clingy, and Adele wants to stay here instead of being with me anyway, then how about just having her walk me home. What am I? I don't know what's going on today. Wait, that's not what I said. I suppose it can't be helped. A little walk won't kill you. What? And I think it's best if you see the sky once in a while anyway. Look who's talking. Hold on. Didn't you say earlier that I'll die if I leave? We still have a few hours before the filter time. Until then, you're safe to be out of containment. So, there's really no electromagnetic field surrounding the building. But what on earth are you talking about? How about all the confidentiality and violation codes, or whatever else you mentioned? If you recall, I'm the one in charge of this operation. This is like some kind of operation of an Eventide. Is this some kind of test? Only a few hours ago, you were pretty keen on strapping me to your bed. You did what? That got her attention. I thought for a second there Celia didn't care for the details. Now she seems to be interested in everything. Not this again. It's better lumbar support than an operation table. Can't she just stop doing that? Hang out here longer. Sorry, does it hurt? No, that's exactly why you should stop. Oh, sorry. It's fine. Look, we can stay on task. You've got nothing to fear. I'll be monitoring your vitals the whole time. And it's as she says, it's only a few blocks down. Come on, Adele. Stop being a bum. I'll show you around town. I finally pinched Celia's cheeks in retaliation and used her face to block Miriam out of my vision. Right. At this point, I'm just being selfish, aren't I? I can't imagine Celia doesn't have a billion better things to do than console a dead person. In any case, I shouldn't go out looking like this. No, but there's an easy solution for that, isn't there? Ta-da! Oh, I thought we were going to see her outfit. I mean, I'll save that for a second. That's cute. You and Adele are the same size. It's convenient, that's for sure. You owe it to me to cough it all up at this point. So how long since you broke the contract? I'm sure I don't have to spell it out. I was lost from the start, really. I found out the day that Nexus was apprehended, around a month after we came here. I knew I smelled Eden Bridge on you that day. After everything, then I wasn't the one you needed. Was I just a failure? In supporting the strain, yes, the process fell though almost instantly, but it's up to you to decide on what it was worth. Listen carefully. You're the only one I will confide this information to. Understand? You've always gone away with being a consequentialist. I just want to know, will the end justify this means this time? Justify? Will it? By this, you mean you could have the hiccup and I could feel it. By this, you mean to tell me you're doing the right thing. There we go. Maybe not, but I'll do whatever it takes to give her a chance. The end is still an unknown variable. I have always done what I believe is right. and I'll continue to follow that until end is reached. But you and I have different ends in mind, don't we? I believe so. Knowing that, will you continue to support me? I'll always believe in you, Miriam. But you won't be able to fool Adele forever. I figure you won't let me. You're right. From now on, I only expect you to play fair. Adele. I know you're done up there. Come down already. Shut up. She's embarrassed. How cute. Adele, there's no need to be embarrassed. Not only will this outfit preserve your anonymity, you'll suddenly become sharp, supporty, yet girlish. Ta-da! Sharp ain't the word for it. Not bad. I think it suits you. Oh, as charming as ever. Though I think a hole for your belly button is in order. Oh, I wish I had thought of that. It's a bit modest for her tastes, no? Less than wholesome intentions slip out of their rivaling sense of or vile sense of humor. You sure you don't have anything else? It suits you. I don't see the problem. I agree. Miriam next time. We should put her in something even cuter. Maybe I could dig up my old school uniform. That's a great idea. This is absurd. I'm not going to stick around for this comedy act between these two pervs. Be safe out there. I mock. Can you believe her? Oh. Oh, be nice to the girl. Watch it. You weren't, or you weren't the one under a microscope all day. Don't tell me what to think. A microscope? A light-hearted laugh. Sound I know well. Surely not. Before we left, Marion briefed us on the importance of confidentiality and safety. I felt some sense of bias. The words she used seemed to pass through one of Celia's ears and out the other, if not occasionally interrupted by a uh-huh or half-hearted got it. Nevertheless, we've escaped the dehumanization chamber. Quite easily, in fact. That wasn't exactly the solution I'd expect from Adele. The Adele proof door. Oh, are you going to be okay walking out? It's not far, but still. You just tackled me. Now you're worried about whether or I can walk or not? Well, she wraps her arms around my my right arm, clinging to the metal that binds it together. Can never be too careful. The sky bleeds into our surroundings like vibrant ink on a stale paper. Its crisp caramel warms to the end of the summer. Nostalgic feeling. I can tell the girl beside me is warmer, but I can't take in her body heat as much as I'd like. People are probably going to be starting to walk home from work. Don't worry. No one will notice anything strange besides the fact that there's a new super hot couple in town. Small buildings come into view slowly, and eventually we're surrounded in life. Despite how eager I was to feel the open air on my face, I don't really feel any better about my situation now. Celia, you really live here now. Not bad, right? I never expected her future would be glamorous, but I'm not sure this is the right fit either. What's wrong with me? What suits her isn't my decision to make. Besides, if she's needed at home at this hour, that could only mean... I know it's a lot different from Edinburgh or any other cities they sent you to, but there's no reason for me to be in proximity of the Citadel or anything. So then, it's really all over. The aberrations, they're just gone. She puts her hand to her forehead, as if to playfully search for our surroundings. Looks pretty aberrationless to me. Apparently. But then, how come I need to be revived? Who cares? You're here now. That's all that matters to me. I can tell by how her forearm contracts against my chest. She's gripping my arm tight. It'd be cold from blood loss if it were real. Truly, it's been much more relaxed since then. And by that, you mean boring? She laughed a little, easing some embarrassment from my too blunt rebuttal. I figured you'd say something like that. You might be right, but that's not a bad thing. Yeah, I'm sure you have made a lot of friends here. You seem happier. I guess so. Silence is a vulnerable place. It's runner-up the company of someone you love, which is the domain where words should not be necessary, though they help to comprehend the more obscure sensitivities. So why the tepid response, now of all times, my embarrassment at my own bubbling agitation, makes me refrain from defiling or vacant air myself. But it's all sewn into the fabric of guilt. These feelings are resurfacing, or these feelings that are resurfacing aren't are certainly real. I guess that was the point of the created to begin with. The fact of the matter is, I saw Celia only yesterday, and she's been alone for years. No, probably not. My mind's floundering around what's even worth mentioning at this point. Well, what do you think? What do you mean? How's it look to you? She says, procuring the advantage of the conversation. You're going to be staying here too, after all. Not if I have any say in the matter. I lift my chin and think of a better answer. Certainly less boisterous than I had imagined when I picked a series before. Much slower. A few people who walk in the distance seem to rather be hobbling through their doldrums. The buildings they wander around seem comfortably nestled besides each other, tightly knit, agreeing on the atmosphere for the life that it lingers here. Despite the fuss that resulted in me breathing fresh air, it's nothing extraordinary. It's a perfectly normal town, no matter how I look at it. Either way, this is a town that's already become familiar to Celia. I am an anachronistic one. I am the anachronistic one. I shake my head. It's different, I guess. Not much to say, really. You'll get used to it soon enough. Not that there's much to get used to, like you said, but still, we can do it together. I let the surroundings be absorbed me once more. That's not a bad thought. It takes me a moment before I realize we've stopped walking. This is your house? I ask, but I already know. It's enchanting and clean, and it's drawing me right in. She nods. That was fast. They're practically neighbors. Well then, after you. I think you have somewhere else to be. Or, I think you have somewhere to be, Adele. So she was listening, after all. Supposedly. I'm sure it's important. Besides, you're being a little overzealous, aren't you? Respectable girls don't let shameless womanizers into their homes. Oh, of course I'll let you in, silly. She pouts upset at my reaction to her jab. But you really should listen to Miriam for today. Shame I don't remember how to get back. You're gonna have to show me. I hold my arm out again. She pushes it away gently. If you seriously can't manage to find your way back up the street, I think I'd be good to tell that Miriam restored your brain after all. I told Miriam to text me when you got home. If I don't get the message in the next 10 minutes, I'll come and hunt you down myself with a bear trap and a whip. She makes a claw motion with her hand. It hurts how credible her words are. The performative nature of her prior exaggerated cleanness suddenly dawns on me. If they'd got such great rapport, what was the point of fighting each other for my custody? You two seem pretty close. I gotta say, I'm surprised. From what I can tell, you don't have a single thing in common. Well, you've missed a lot. Miriam's done a lot for me. I know she'll do all she can do for you two. But she literally brought you back to life, Adele. That's not as comforting as you're making it out to be. I'll come see you first thing tomorrow morning. How about that? We can hang out all day. Sure, fine. But if she says one wrong word, you better change your bear trap target. She laughs. All right, deal. There's a few breaths where the air is vacant of our voices, and nothing feels real. It's utter space besides a dull headache that's followed me since this morning. Hey, thanks. Thanks. It was good to see you. Knowing you're still around makes me think I want to live a little longer. She flushes and blinks at me. Adele, do you think I've changed? Not one bit. It's probably the most remarkable thing, actually, how she's changed, or how little she's changed. She's surprised. Oh, unless you wanted to, then you've matured. No, it makes me really happy to hear you say that. She lets out a sudden laugh. Wait, you can't just say that someone's matured. What? I didn't mean, you know what I meant. I'm kind of in the same boat. It's definitely surreal seeing your face again. She takes my right hand again. I wonder if she remembers which is the real one underneath the gloves. It's almost like no time has passed at all. Could it be? Making my hand let go of hers is a little awkward. It's hard to tell how tight its grip is, but it's not even the machine's fault. I just wonder if I'm hurting her, and if we'd actually want to hold hands or not. I'm about to let go for good before she speaks again. Oh, and one more thing. I'm so scared about the calm before the storm. Hmm. How dare you? Oh, just reappear and act all casual like you don't remember what you said to me. My jaw stings from her sudden outburst. She had no mercy in that blow. But the truth hits just as hard. And only now do I feel comfort in the reunion with my best friend, because this is the only Celia I remember. I am acting like nothing's happened. You're the one looking at me, or looking at a half-fucking machine, acting all lovely-dovey. So, frankly, you could have been more, or you could have been reborn as a rock for all I care. It doesn't fix the promises you broke. I would have followed you, you know. I would have traded my life for yours. I thought you were dead. I know. So why didn't you come find me? Why did you make me come to you? Why did Miriam have to pull us back together? You can hear yourself? I was out for 5 years. I was trying to get a bearing back on my reality. Still am, before I came and bothered you. Clearly have a life, so I expected you would have moved on. How was I supposed to know you would only have a few hours or a few houses down? Celia's fiery passion seems to melt in the cold sky. She stands there, awestruck. The amazement of seeing someone rise from the grave left her eyes long ago. Now they're filled with nothing but the burden of devotion. You didn't have to live after losing, or you didn't have to live after losing you without saying goodbye, because you didn't let me. Turns out this whole time Miriam was monitoring you, her little passion project. It makes me sick to think that you were always there, and I couldn't reach you. Your fate was in the hands of someone else. I'm happy beyond belief. I wanted to hold you so tightly so that you may never leave me again. But still, what am I supposed to think? 5 years without closure, and there you were, just waiting for scientific miracle to put you back on your feet. I could have helped, too. I would have found a way. At least, I would have had known. Celia, she should have told you. You couldn't have known. She could have told us. Honestly, I can't believe she didn't tell you until now. You were the first thing on my mind when I woke up. Celia looks like she found something funny about that. What am I saying? Even if I woke up a day after, I never have wanted to see her this way, or want her to see this. Celia's right. She was left entirely in the dark. It's cruel that there was no good lie enough to change the fact. And this is a lot to take in. I can't begin to imagine how much has happened in all this time. I don't know what I could make up for it, but for what it's worth, I'm grateful that you're still here. What? You're not the one who's supposed to say that. I'm sorry, Adele. You have got to be more confused than I am. Probably. She brushes her tears away and smiles. I gesture, I gesture I figure is unimaginably painful. I never really believed you would go down like that. Well, you know me. I say on reflex, Celia knows me, but 5 years is an awfully long time for anyone. It's not quite as long for someone who spent them with, or as long as someone who spent them in the glass tank. We were never instructed on what was in store for us if I succeeded. Celia is all I have left of that eternal now. Or that eternal now. But seeing her is here is only proof of the times that have long since circled the drain. Though we were alone together before, Celia's already adopted her own life, one entirely separated from it all. So would I be asking too much if I still need her, or if I still need her to bind me back down to reality? Tomorrow, you better tell me everything you've been up to. To tell you the truth, whatever happened in the last 5 years doesn't seem to matter anymore. It all feels distant now that I'm with you again. But I will, as long as you tell me this one thing now. She gingerly takes me in her arms again. Why did you leave me behind? I forced myself to pretend there's skin underneath my clothes, so that I may hold her faintly. Because you were the only one who deserved to live. I am not stopping the video yet. I'm just saving, just in case. But here we go. Oh good, you arrived in one piece. I'm pulled into my maker's house the instant I arrive at the doorstep. I was threatened. Was it enough to convince you that you've been brought back to life? I'm convinced that you think you're better than me because you're friends with my friends. I'll take that as a you're always right, Miriam. She lowers her voice a few octaves in what I assume is her best swing at dropping her accent, mimicking my voice. I can't tell if I'm more stunned by her sudden attitude or how terrible this impression is. I'm lucky to have such a talented and intelligent surgeon. Don't even get me started on how beautiful she is. Don't get cute with me yet, dork. Her deal was that you would cough up some real answers now. Right. Well, you said earlier you were told to revive me. Do you have a name for said contractor? Oh, I can't tell if she looks confused, ashamed, or is she feeling secondhand embarrassment? How do I say this? It was originally prompted by someone else. For someone, yes, but I'm not going in the position to disclose that acute details about my supervisor at that organization. Not that I'm a part of it anymore. Anything else on your mind? Maybe I'd be game for some open dialogue if she wasn't giving me the most wishy-washy answers I've ever heard. Whether she's still really holding out is another question entirely. What's for dinner? You don't have the capabilities for processing food at present. We discussed this earlier. The substance that acted as an energy source was supplied to your brain and body while you were connected to the chamber. What, like a charging cable? I'm hardly being serious. No, but thank you for asking. She brushes off my naive and pushes her curls aside and tapes her nape. I mimic her movement. Sure enough, there's a small hole at the base of my skull. It's too narrow to stick a finger in, and the outer edge feels like a cartilage, like another ear. I'm glad you and Celia had the chance to reunite. Good thing too, it gave me enough time to figure out a workaround. We were gone for what, half an hour? But then the second I'm turned away, she closes the distance between us and shoves something in my face. I think my finger slipped on a button. Within the second I'm turned away, she closes the distance between us and shoves something in my face. Ta-da! Filtering, fuel, and cooling, all in one small dose at roughly 12-hour intervals. We'll administer one in the morning and one in the evening. I'll provide it in some form of shot right in that hole. Gross. You'll require these regular injections until we complete the next stage of your body. I'll prioritize designing a self-sustaining system capable of functioning for extended periods without my support. Okay, time to get a thumbnail because alright, got my thumbnail. You require these regular injections until we complete the next stage of your body. I'll prioritize designing a self-sustaining system capable of functioning for extended periods without my support. So this temporary solution we've devised. 2 shots a day is all you need to remain operational as of now. You're able to function almost completely on your own after all. Is that something I should take pride in? Or is she one humble bragging? Or is she the one humble? Or is she the one humble bragging? So you're really just gonna... So you just really want to hang out here until you're done? When I just get in your way? We're both adults, aren't we? I'm sure we'll be fine, simply coexisting. Will we? Better yet, will she? I still have doubts that this woman's talked to another real human in years. I only need your assistance for a few things, evaluations mostly. There's several matters I wasn't able to understand with you in Comatose. Sounds to me like this is largely experimental. That's just how it is. It's not like there's a guidebook I can follow. She chimes back in an instant and she looks a little embarrassed. I've accomplished this much in 5 years. With your cooperation, we can speed up progress tenfold at least. Soon your body will be indistinguishable from a mint condition organic human. But no worries, we'll begin all that tomorrow. There's one thing there's one thing you absolutely need. It's rest. That's not what I was worried about. If you're relying on temporary solutions, you're clearly not even or you're not even close to completing your mission. Your machine. Bleh. If you'd like to keep using the dreary word machine, go right ahead. But it's a streamlined emulation, an augmentation upon the organic framework. She's suddenly sharp. Though the general operations of organs are understood, the process that exists within them go beyond the scope of resolution that exists in mechanics at present. Yes, these are the only temporary solutions. In this streamlined emulation, these individual functions are resulted in intertwined, heterogeneous material fragments with varying levels of complexity in their interrelation. That gives an account of the level of the sophistication of the engineering used for its realization. System features that replace the digestive tract or purgatory glands serve the end of the mind body composite with a sole function to suffice its survival. Or rather, a state suitable to allow operation in accordance with external standards. Guess what? You have that much in common with everybody else in the world. Her words succeeded one another without a single breath of shadow of doubt. Whether or not it's possible to recreate a human being's complex system in its entirety is uncertain, but the effort allowed you to wake up this morning. So indeed, this is largely experimental. Is there still much to learn? Certainly. But one truly be human if, say, their body was all order. The timing of their functions paced with the cylinders performing with regularity, as if all occupational had been ritual. All chaos drained off into the routine of a motor's explosions and revolutions, with regular wear and tear, to be mechanically diagnosed by error codes. To be the end of either replacing parts to perform the same function, or its final dissolution. I'm gonna pause to eat in a minute, but let's get past this. She finally inhales, wobbles a little, and then catches herself and faces me again. You and I will be headed down a path towards the entirely unknown. I'm not asking for your help. I brought you back into this world. It's my responsibility to make it right. So, as long as you stay here and offer me support on this operation, I vow my endeavors to you in whatever ways you desire. I only realized I had a chill on my spine as the next instant when it vanishes. But you still can't give me an answer. For a reason? She fumbles for a moment. Wanted to revive you. Is that okay for now? This girl. There's not much to refute. I died. I've got no reason to distrust Celia with all reasonable observation. Miriam, in fact, brought me back to life in the water pod in her basement. To emulate the human structure using only mechanics. For what reason? And why me? She doesn't know me. Well, I'm sure she doesn't, or she does now. I've never met her. She doesn't owe me or anything to me. If anything, I've lived my life. I've lived my life. I did my time. I killed Atlas. I got no more crosses to bear. So, if there's any reason that it was for me over any sad sack of shit, then this is just my next mission. So fine, just get out of my face and get over with it. And get it over with. Okay, it'll be over in a second. Got it. And you need to tell me if anything feels off afterwards, okay? Why is she on her back foot all of a sudden? Alright. Look, can we just get this over with? Yes, of course. Just have to, position the needle. It's been in the same position for the last few minutes. It's pretty small, but I can kind of feel it. Small? What? Never mind. I'm still I'm sticking it in the neck hole. If you have any, if you have time to say dumb shit like that, you should have already done it, virgin. All right. You said it. He said if I'll die, he wouldn't. You said I'll die if you don't do this now. Yes, that's correct. So what's a holdup? Not that this is entirely a baseless conjecture, but I mean, it's safe. Wait, what? Even if it's largely speculation, my theories are typically never wrong. Theory? Well, wait, hold on, did I miss something? Actually, clicked too fast. No. Well then, it's now or never. Unhand me, woman. Adele, quit moving. I thought this was based on science, not shitty proverbs. Whatever, just hold still. We have no other options. I don't care. I've had enough. Get off me. No way. Oh, silly. Well, it seems like it worked. Go figure. Of course it did. Of course? All according to the plans I laid out for you. You just said it was speculation. Oh, please. I only said that to distract you. How would that have distracted me? So, what's next? Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go chow down on some leftovers, and this is my breakfast, and then I'll be back. So, one seckie. I'm back. I think I'm going with this recording. I will assume. Let's see. It is. Okay. So what's next? What is next, huh? I'd like to do some assessments within the next few days on what functions would be beneficial. Whatever, nerd. I mean, at this point. Nerd. Okay, oh, I'm not sure how I feel about being put in charge on the spot. Just what have you been doing all day then? You don't need to worry about a thing tonight. Although I know you won't do well without rest. Cool. Should I head home? Were you even listening to anything I've been saying? Alright, I get it. But I doubt I can rest after that. I'll be your roommate. Just show me out, or just show me back to the tank room. How many times do I have to tell you? You're not going back in there. Then that leaves the baby room upstairs. I'll pass. That place somehow has the most unfortunate atmosphere in the house. It's not that bad. Well, got an air mattress for me. I'm flattered, but that bed won't fit both of us. Woefully, I'll be relinquishing my sole ownership of that room to you. I'll continue to work down here while you rest. Here she does have a shred of decency. I honestly didn't expect much more than to be stripped naked and tied down again. It seems my worries were misplaced. And you don't have to worry about you don't have to keep wearing that, you know? She looks me up and down, doubtless the notion to strip naked in front of her, to be tied down again. I take it all back. This is whatever. It's fine. Oh, but I thought you said it wasn't your style. As being facious, it's better than. I understand. She shakes her head, not in denial, but in an almost dismissive compromise. If you're not keen on my bedroom, you're welcome to stay down here instead. The couch appeared new, but feels used. Cushions are shifty and uncertain on how to support me, making my alien presence known. The living room itself is compact and tight, the way I'd expect would be comforting. The kitchen seems to only be there as decoration. The coffee table in front of me is so worn with use and papers littering the surface, stacked higher than the elevation of the table itself. I can only imagine they've been here for years, crumpled and folded from neglect. Miriam is wandering around me. The clicks of her heels have become white noise, nothing but a reminder that I'm not alone. When she encircles her into my sight, I realize she's cleaning. Everything upturned a book she picks up off the floor reveals some other displaced entity, to which she notices, stares, and relocates. A harmless spiral. It's no wonder she wears her shoes inside. This room may be no more familiar to her than it is to me. Silence brings my stinging palms to my attention from where my nails were lodged before. For seemingly the first time all day, she's not expecting anything from me. A lonely thought, though. Who's one staring now? I rest my eyes and rack my brain for any memories of this woman. Nothing surfaces. She's got no reason to bring me back. And yet, 5 years. But the old me would have forced my way out of this place. I'm just tired. That's what I get for waking up from the dead. Oh, a little over half a century ago, humans became a space-faring species. Crewed spacecrafts and manufactured contraptions began to orbit the Earth, on track to explore the cosmos. Mother Earth wasn't good enough for us, apparently, so organizations invested exuberant amounts of resources into our wonder of the unknown. Whatever the end goal was at the time, the future seemed bright. That was until a few decades later, when one innocent satellite returned to its lab unexpectedly. Is this who I think it is? Should have been a mistake. The satellite had no flaws in its safety protocol, no bumps in the calibration of its orbit, nor had it sent any error messages through its transponders. Still branded with a familiar ID number, it was undoubtedly that robot. But what had changed was that it transformed. Its metal tendons twisted into an entirely new beast, one straight out of a nightmare. Wait, no, maybe this isn't what I think. It was a monster, plain and simple. It craved annihilation. Okay, I'm saving that. All right. That night, a hunter's moon. That thing was once an apparatus built by humans to undertake a task went feral. It obliterated its maker and infrastructure. It started with a laboratory. It had been assembled in its neighboring warehouse. We took the military base around it, to surrounding the forest, to the city miles away. Spent the night ravaging everything. The monster proved adamantine against both conventional and nuclear weaponry. All the while, the Red Moon looked down on the Earth as if to judge our pleas of mercy and scoff at cries out. That's why. After a disastrous 8 hours, the monster finally yielded. But despite the countless infantry, artillery bombardment attacks, and the air assaults that were executed in an effort to tame that beast, what finally sedated it was the rising sun. As it surrendered, it cried out, a message that was somehow comprehensible in every human language. Confession of love. And at the crack of dawn, it ascended, suddenly vanishing into the moon, as if never existed at all. In just one night, around 500 square miles had been utterly flatlined, reduced to rubble, a lunar landscape. That was the first assault of what had been later cemented in history as the Aberration. The discovery of communication, albeit one-sided, but with the beast wasn't the advantage anyone hoped for. All the military forces of the government bothered to spare some supernatural occurrence didn't cut to it. So what was negotiation gonna do? But as it turns out, the aberration had decided upon its own catalyst. On that same night, just as Northern America coastal land was fighting for its life, on one other side of the world, another miracle of nature occurred. Her reports emerged of a lone woman who had metamorphosed into a contradistinct, near eternal being, or ethereal being. She glowed in the night, appearing to shed her skin into steel plates, resembling a suit armor. She wielded a sword, called herself the Arbiter, and pledged herself to bring justice upon these beasts. Similar reports of Arbiter pledges occurred internationally on that same night. Okay. Their new forms could only be described as a strong human souls made manifest. They radiated palpable energy, enough to hold off the aberrations entirely on their own. Acknowledging the magnitude of the threats posed by the aberration, nations of Earth sought to seek out and contain the Arbiters. Considering the military power that was spent in vain to destroy their new foe, it was decided as the only way. With that sparkling new hope came to the construction of their new forward operating base and the desolation of the last granted to the development of fostering arbiters, Edenbridge. Edenbridge's objective has been the same ever since: the defense of Earth on the night of her Aberrations descent. Since the union of arbiters under the Bastion, we have defended humanity without fail, to the point where few people believe in our existence at all. Oh, but I'll be the one to tell you straight up, it's all true. I have lived at Edenbridge for as long as I can remember, raised and trained to be an arbiter. I know of life outside those walls, but no matter where I go, the moon stares me down like a fox hunting a rabbit, but I stare back, watching, waiting for my chance to strike. Okay, I need that. I have never once asked why. I really can't afford to, after all, because I'm the first and only arbiter in history who can kill aberrations outright. Tonight is the night I'll break the cycle for good. The antithesis to humanity. I stand between it and its goal of merciless, unprejudiced destruction. The final aberration standing, identified as Edge Ixia Atlas Sigaerosm. Oh, is still alive. So clearly there's been a misstep somewhere. You see, most people don't know where they have a soul. One can survive and navigate the world with their 5 senses alone. Your brain facilitates the interaction between the soul and the body, but it's not the sole player in the creation of your person. Your soul runs deeper than the survival instincts. It's what generates the trance-like animalistic drive that lies underneath, the one that makes you live. So, as my brain bargains heat, my soul moves first to make my saber attack. My will is slower than my soul, and my soul is my blade. But whenever I lunge out one head, another intercepts, forcing me to lose momentum and drop to the ground, or commit and risk my stability by being swiped at an angle. Even if I'm able to endure the hit or stabilize and rebound, I'm still at a disadvantage, dominated into the defensive. I blitz around the beast, at a distance parrying the thrust of its heads as they lunge my way, bound across its scaly throat. There's always one more waiting for me at the other side. My momentum is all I have. For no matter how much power I divest in each thrust within the minuscule chances I get, nothing can dent this thing. This enemy cannot be caught off guard, or otherwise shows no obvious opening. Considering our environment, that we are already mid-skirmish, I have no chances to surprise it. I could try to attack first, as it's preparing its own, or otherwise focus on the fence. It therefore wouldn't get the chance to defend itself in time. But this means I'll also be vulnerable at some point, and the beast will take full advantage with another head. Conversely, I could attack when the enemy is in the middle of its attack, and it would be unable to defend itself. But of course, this would result in yet another head striking me down in my opening. So that eliminates all my options. It's supposed to be a duel, and yet I'm heavily outnumbered. I've circled around it, God knows how many times. Atlas 100% has no blind spots. So how can I possibly gain an advantageous position where one movement cannot be detected at all? Even though these heads work independently forming a small army, they attack one at a time, but I'm up against a rapid-fire assault. As I parry one, another is already reared to follow. A calculated rhythm, harmony to suit my demise. And there may be no for nothing else but to maintain momentum. I continue to rush, parry, and rebound. I'm forced to continuously ricochet off each skull, maintaining altitude and distance to break off the path where it would otherwise intercept my assault with another metallic head. Whenever we clash, the sound of steel resounds through the desert, and my skull rattles, vision overwhelmed by its reptilian eyes and gray inner flesh. I managed to breach the serpents, escape into a distant landing. Atlas trudges ever closer, snapping the air with its metal teeth. Aberrations in history have always resembled earthly beasts in their composition. Of course, Atlas is a dragon, a serpentine creature. Hydra, if you will. Considering its origin and inspiration, its outer shell is crafted from pure titanium, impossible to pierce, and beneath the gray scales, some kind of enamel like a lizard skin. Call me crazy, but is there still a way to shatter their defense? My warrior instincts may order me to take charge on whatever whim springs to my mind. I bolt at the beasts again, letting caution glide off my back. The dragon's neck crane and revolve to overwhelm my range and vision, pre-coordinating a counter to whichever one I strike. But my imminent thrust only strengthens at the sight, aiming to directly collide with its next blow. The dragon's rightmost jaw unhinges readily as I pierce air, harpooning straight into its gaping mouth. I do not flinch. You don't just get to be your regrets or your sorrows, your past farewells, your blade, and anything else will be cut down with you if you falter for a second. So go ahead. Swallow me, Atlas. I tear through the monster's plate in a single thrust, and erupt out of its now fragmented skull. The other heads roar in agony, amplifying my gravity enough for me to launch across the field and secure a landing. I rush in again without a moment's hesitation. The wind sears my skin and wins my footstep, but it only fans the fire in my soul. This is what I'm built for, after all. In my transformed state, I have potential to move at my speeds unparalleled, closing gaps before human eyes can register my form. This power hadn't given me any advantage against beasts in general sense, has no visible weak points to assault, and I must slow down to a visible speed whenever I attack. So, while it's immune to damage from the outside, if I take it into its maw, I have the speed to pierce through the head from the inside flesh surface before it can bite down. Even though if the odds are 1,000,000 to 1, I will prevail, because I have a soul, the most powerful offense, and this is a machine. So there's absolutely no way I can lose. I bound off the earth and leap into the air, igniting a straight shot into another steel skull. Atlas hoists its neck through the air into a Mm. Wait, hold on. What has happened? Footing in the back of my skull smashing through my teeth. The dissonance of what was supposed to happen. Next to it shocks me into the waking world. Oh wait, no, that happens right here. Wait, just happened. The ravenous lattice, prepared to intercept wherever I land. I guess we were sleeping. And then I remember both the sensations of regaining my footing and the back of my skull smashing through my teeth. The dissonance of what was supposed to happen next is what shocks me into the waking world. Adele, wake up! It's this room. This room. I've crossed back into the other reality. My initial observation is the sound of someone breathing. The fact that I can immediately decipher the source irks me. Miriam. My senses have returned too quickly for this reality to be a dream. The girl who's convinced me that she's revived me sits at the opposite side of the couch with her head hung. Her body rocks a steady rhythm, breathing gently through pursed lips. Unlike her, my chest doesn't rise and fall as I breathe. My legs are tight to my chest, but I don't feel any warmth. I uncurl slowly, wincing as my joints crack. My feet reach the floorboards, to which I notice is now clean. The entire, or as is the entire immediate area. Now I'm looking at Miriam again. She's out cold. She falls asleep staring at me. My fingers are quivering. I count and move them one by one. These are my hands. I'm alive. I can move. I slide one of them underneath my shirt. There's nothing immediate there. There's nothing there at all, actually. Like something's interrupting it from feeling my stomach. This must be the fake hand. No, there's no fake hand. I withdraw it, remove its glove, and I'm met with a gray synthetic fiber in the absence of skin. It trembles regardless of afraid to be a part of me. I remove the glove from my other hand, then found my left hand, my dominant one, but it's shaking all the same. Laying witness to my flesh does nothing for me. It's mine. Sure, it's got creases where there have always been, but it's a sickly pale. I withered from my time in comatose. I swallow, close my eyes, and drive it into my stomach. My fingertips retract in an instant. They feel a mechanical coldness. The force against my ribcage feels like it's steel plating. Applying more pressure only makes me feel a gentle vibration, like an engine whirs from my chest. Finally, I lift my shirt. My hand didn't deceive me. Machinery is there, exactly how I felt. Exactly how I saw it in the mirror this morning. Next, I rest both of my hands on my face and tuck my thumbs under my chin. Only the left feels a faint pulse of a beating heart. I stare blankly into the dark abyss of the room. I lift my shirt again. It's still there. My nerves are high-speed wire. My joints mechanically actuated, hardly enough to be a high-spec machine. Not reinforced or upgraded. Just a cut-rate forgery of human nature, a bare-bone skeleton of scrap, to which I am forced to be responsible of. Enough. I think as quickly as and quietly as I can. I can't believe I've degenerated to playing peekaboo with myself. This is the moment I've been waiting for after all. Mhm. Um, the two-story drop isn't tough. It's a fall I've taken countless times before. I am more embarrassed about my juvenile method of sneaking out the window. I stagger to my feet and I feel the momentum shake through my bones. I'm glad Miriam's creation agrees with me this time. I hope I hope I forget her name soon. The lights and sounds of this place are more alive than I am. They pass by me in a blur. I have no means to take in my surroundings since every second I don't repeat the instructions on how to walk in my head. I nearly trip over myself. All I can tell is that I've been nearly alone beneath the night, or maybe I just haven't noticed any other pedestrians. No, I don't know if I'm being perceived. Would make me feel better or worse. I'd like to say I'm getting lost, but with every turn I make, the neighborhood becomes increasingly familiar, burning the route to my captor's or back to my captor's house into my mind. In an attempt to shake the natural impulse, I begin to search for another civilian, perhaps has enough information I'm not spiraling through purgatory. But the instant I step up to a window of a darkened building, I'm confronted only by regret and the fact that it'd be more comforting to make eyes with an apparition than the only face that will keep me company tonight. I shudder as if the ghastly vision passes through my body. The breeze catches tiny hollows. I have yet to notice that I've been carved out of the back of my skull. Sorry, I really like it. What flashes through my mind as I hear to this cold Jenna is a sensation of floating with the tank I woke up in this morning. But the fantasy escapes me just as quickly. Now I'm either fighting with my brain's recognition of how familiar buildings that will soon never see my ugly mug again, the fearful instincts of the unknown alleys, to which causes my mind once again fabricate a longing sensation of a bygone era, of 5 whole years in not dumbness, darkness submerged in dark water, in warm water, keeping me walking as my unpitiful silent promises that once I finally escape this place, I'll never have to relive this feeling ever again. My thoughts have become illusory. I've either been walking for 10 minutes or 2 hours. I've lost the ability to distinguish the senses that reach my spinning head, my steel railing memories, and recurring sensations of being submerged in liquid that worms its way into my brain. Whenever I attempt to center myself, I maybe get a real taste of freedom. My senses are instantly glutted with a conductorless orchestra of eerie sounds, bird songs, and a far and nigh. A car door shutting miles away, a mechanical dragon howling for destruction, construction vehicles, traffic lights, leaking oil, and my own heavy breathing all at once, all to which offer me no clarity, only briefly prohibits my conscience from counting how many steps I've taken, what streets I'm on, or the sensations of faint worrying my chest. It'd be the thought of recognizing where I'm headed that takes me back, or takes me back my sight, and I'm in a completely different location, flipped around with only familiar night still surrounding me. Though I yearn for it, even with a mechanical viscera, there's no on and off switch. I can't just differentiate one reality from the next, much less hold the power to disappear from the simultaneous stimulus altogether. Even if I could, the idea that my soul inhabits this machine makes me fear for what lies beyond this end. There's no place, no breath that paused could come to my mind, and every relapsing urge to escape makes me again long for those blurry sensations of floating in that dark chamber, which is consistently the most comforting aid to this confusion, as if it wasn't unconscious and unknowing of it until the final moments before it was whisked away from me, as if I belonged there instead of any place I lived before, as if the legitimacy of these feelings doesn't also carry the preceding pain of being torn apart from it, of my home draining down my body, of the stark white lights and the cold concrete floor it crashed against afterwards. My head is spinning. I can't tell if tiles beneath my feet are those of the hallways in the Eden Bridge or the stone pavement of a sidewalk. Incoherent murmurs in the distance, or my friends laughing just out of earshot. A computer shutting down or an avalanche. The whispering of trees, an oversized truck reversing, the buzz of telephone wires, or a train tracing a distant byway, where someone hastily runs against the silence of the night, following the veins of this town that will take root into their memory, but both the instinct of survival and the imminent farewells that follow close behind, all images far too vivid for the slow, defunct brain process at once. What's worse, I can't even tell the difference between the inclination to escape and the hatred I bear for myself. It's a double-sided coin, and my body is just as confused. I'm heaving from exhaustion, but my heart beats steady calm. A consistent supply of oxygen to the brain, only feeding me of delusions and being wedged in that tank, oblivious and deprived, but entirely whole. The resistance to these compulsions is the only thing I can consider my control. It's when my sight returns again in some empty park that finally I'm hit by an indisputable truth. That all of it is real. The duel I woke up from, my untimely demise, this shabby town, my exhausting existence, these senses have invaded me in overflow. I know I am Adele. But, as if it were an innate truth, too, I know that Adele's soul will not be yet has not yet caught up to me. It remains in that water as being though without origin, somewhere deep in infinite black. My existence here, and is now evidence of a crime against humanity, in and of itself. If it's my soul that made my body worth hurting, what's an empty shell got to lose? Are you gonna order something or what? My eyes snap open to the fluorescent lights of the vending machine. How long have I been standing here? I turn around to face the voice behind me. But there's no one there. Have I truly gone mad on top of it all? Up here, nerd. Oh my god, look. Look, everyone. My gaze turns up to a demon staring down from the sky. What? Never see the pinnacle of vigilance of a stunt woman before? Typical tourist. They or think they can handle the heat until it smacks them straight in the slack jaw. She descends to the pavement with a neat pit swing into a leap. Okay, let's save real quick. And then keep going just a little bit further. Dot, dot, dot. Hello? Never mind, this is no demon. Just some eccentric teenager with tacky accessories. Yeah, I was just about to put my money in. I don't have any money. I mean, I was, but it's broken. Tough luck. Someone speaks when I open my mouth. I don't feel the words come out, but this girl listens in response to the voice escaping my throat. Liar, it works fine. She's acknowledging me. She's looking at a human. You're right. I just forgot my wallet and misery loves company. And I can buy you something if you want. Ah, that won't work either. How long can I manage to pretend? Tell me if you want something, I guess. But could you at least move, please? I make my way for a suspicious girl. She approaches the machine and pulls a coin from her purse. Uh, purse from her dress pocket. It's got several charms of cartoon characters hanging off it. That creates a crowd bigger than the pier itself. She has got her toes to reach the bottom button, or the top button. Pressing her black glossy nail into the illuminated button representing a caffeinated sports drink. I suddenly become conscious of how my fists are clenched tight. Why am I just standing here, watching her pathetic display? I turn to leave. Later, freak. Later, freak. Good luck with your kidney stones. Hey, where are you going? The meeting place is over this way. Meeting? For what? Uh, meta, Metagalactic hero Rika, the illustrious party recruitment, obviously. I thought I was making the headliner easier to read by putting it in an impact font. Mega gay lesbians. What recruitment? Hey man, you're already here. Don't pretend that you're too cool for it now. She swings her arm as a beckoning motion to get me to follow before skipping off herself. Considering I no longer have any free will, I don't really dwell on the fact that I'm following a stranger with questionable sanity levels into an unknown territory. It's more likely that I am too mystified by the clip-on till. Clip-on till she's wearing moves like it's actually part of her. Sorry, too late to considering how horrifying the consequence of my actions. Could be before she stops walking. What the hell? It's so cloudy. But hey, can you still kind of see them? I saw one on my way here. Saw what? The shooting stars. I thought you may have just forgotten about the poster, but it looks like you really just can't read. She points her little hand towards the sky. Christ, the moon is huge. The moon is huge here. It's a little past the third quarter, and she's still right. The small stars twinkle across the black, which caused even the clouds to grow slightly, unable to fetter their shine. Kid, you shouldn't make it a habit to walk around at night. Could be dangerous. What's so dangerous about it? I know this place like the back of my hand. She takes off up the hill. Once I follow her up to the top, she's standing with her hands behind her back alone. I fail to understand what part of the meeting comes into play. You could get abducted, or a lot worse, lost. She tilts her head at me with wide eyes and exhales as if to suppress a laugh. That's what you're worried about? Usually folks are locking up their doors and shutting their blinds because of the man-eater. She raises both of her hands before her face and wiggles her fingers. The man-eater, huh? I humor back. You don't know, I could be even more dangerous than she is. She doesn't react. Whatever, as long as you steer clear of the beach, you won't need to count your teeth at the end of the day. Unable to formulate an immediate response, I simply watch her lower herself to the ground and sprawl limbs against the grass, stretching out as if loitering in a mattress store. As she displays no signs of caution, I sit down beside her, repeating the familiar process of panicked realization that there's not a pitfall beneath my ass. I just can't feel it. Once I'm done, slightly reprimanding myself, the girl sat up to meet my eyes. I suppose that's what this club is all about then. I manage it's a flawless rebound. The hero's parties protects the weak and meek from the wicked beast of the night. She blinks. I'd expect her gaze would make me nervous, but I can't imagine to stop myself from staring back, considering we've thrown conventional politeness out the window. My first instinct seeing her so close is that there's something eerily striking about her features, as if the night itself contorts her face, the moon's painting. What? She blurts out. No, I just need someone who's willing to play offlane for my group. I'm starting to think you didn't even see the poster. I turn towards the sky. After that moment, she's perfectly ordinary, save for her alternative fashion decisions and whatever futuristic language she's speaking, that is. So are you like new here or something? I'm just passing through. You caught me on my way out. Really? But most of the tourists left last week. Why does she keep saying tourist? Well, that's a bummer. Looks like I have no recruits after all. That's too bad. You've got to be pretty tough to make it all the way out here. Figures, though, you'd want to stick around long enough to meet the Rika. Who the hell is that? That's me, idiot. Ah, I suppose that follows. But my real name is Akira. That's secret. Just for you. Wink. Are you some kind of local celebrity? Yeah, obviously. That's how I knew you were here. Because you weren't begging me for an autograph as soon as you saw me. I've got no grounds I've got no ground space this off of, but somehow I'm positive she's lying. But I could have sworn I've seen you before. Then again, I definitely remember you. Your hair is pretty unique. What's wrong with my hair? For starters, I've never seen anyone with longer hair than me. Plus, you've got those eyes covering your fringe brains like me. Never mind. But if you say you're not from here, I guess that means we really have never met before. So, I guess you're here for the view. I heard that this is the time of year you can see Cassiopeia really well. She suddenly points towards the sky and traces to some vague shape. I'm guessing I'm supposed to see a certain pattern or another at the end of her finger, but before I can figure it out, she lowers her hand. I have a friend who was supposed to be here tonight for it too, but she bailed on me last minute. Something came up today, I guess. Tough break. I know, right? Didn't you hate when people do that? Couldn't have been her, could it? An unexpected event occurred today that certainly impacted someone's schedule, but it's likely just heuristics. This, this, uh, this, yeah. Don't worry, there'll be more people to join your party in the future. True. At least I met one person who doesn't have cold feet. Oh, did you see that one? Yeah. It becomes uncomfortably quiet after that. You're not even here for the meteor shower, are you? Yeah, I am. Nope. I guess. I guess. Yeah, I am. I'm super into astrology. I know all the names of the constellations. Really? Yeah, see that one right there? That's a little little dipster. Liar. Oh, you're, oh no, you're stupid. I stifle a laugh. Why am I letting myself indulge in this? So wait, why are you here then? To get away, I guess. Huh? Where do you come from? Why are you planning to follow me home? I wouldn't have guessed that you're the person to watch out for when I'm alone at night. No, I'm just trying to make some conversation. But you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Either way, I'm here now. You have a reason why you chose stargazing as your club activity. Would you believe me if I said I came from outer space? Or from space? No. Damn. Well, I don't know. It's kind of dumb. Meteor shower is really some kind of. There's really some dust that made its way into Earth's atmosphere and burnt up. But what we know is as magic is just loopholes in what otherwise would be logic. So when humans couldn't manage to explain the stars, it's just a mystical nighttime sorcery. It's not like I get a lot of chances to do exciting stuff. So even if it's just sand, I like to pretend it's still romantic and cosmic. It's more fun that way. Weren't you the one who was putting up posters for this shit? Not what I meant. Not everyone is like you and me who can just wander around past midnight doing club activities, jerk. They have more important stuff to do. You're making a lot of assumptions about me. Well, do you? No. She grins and leans back a little. I don't know why I'm trying to make a case for myself. I've got no desire to impress the locals. But that's my chosen spot. Or I mean, that's why I would say if I felt like yapping to a stranger. No need to take it back. I get what you're saying, for the most part. Oh, good. Even when there's limits to what you can believe, you still have to appreciate what you got with the logical hand you've been dealt. Hmm. Oh god, even after all she said, I'm still turning up as the least elegant out of the two of us. Well, you're pretty nice for an idiot. Hey, did you know depending on which star it was watching when you were born, it makes you more compatible with certain people? Heart emoji. You're delusional. I take everything back. You're the meanest person I've ever met. The stars have all escaped behind the clouds. If it's out of the awkwardness that they no longer show their face, then they have doubtless been the first to read the room and gracefully made their way out of the dying conversation. Well, I should go. I have an important secret mission to tend to tomorrow, she says with a finger on her lip. I can't tell if it's storming in the game. No. Okay, I thought so. There's a thunderstorm outside right now. It was happening all night. It kept me awake for a bit, but it came back, I guess. I I was like, is it storming in the game? No, we're all good. Well, I mean, I'm not good. You're good, but I'm not. All right. Well, I should go. I have an important secret mission to attend to tomorrow, she says with one finger to her lip, before getting up quickly and skipping down the hall, or the hill. But women here are easily good at taking initiative. In defiance of her last action, she waits patiently at the base for me to complete a lumbersome stance to my feet and careful stroll down the hill. Thanks for hanging out with me, even though you didn't actually want to be here. It was fun. Was it? Sure, kid. We'll do something more fun next time. What, next time? Did I say that? Yeah, I mean, if you're really the talk of the town, I'll probably be seeing you around, right? Wait, so you're not actually leaving? I guess not. Can you at least tell me your name then? It's Adele. Yay, nice to meet you, Adele. She emphatically exerts her hand. Dude, what? I guess this is it then. Perhaps if nature had been balanced in my favor, we would have simply engaged in the most congenial of human gestures, testament to a friendship everlasting. But evident from this motion, and nature's 90% odds, Kira is right-handed. So, in the action of taking hers and engaging in the conventional handshake, she'd clutch the mechanical coldness of my miserable new form instead of the strong flesh grip of the cool, enigmatic, and a little bit sexy Tara. Wait, she most definitely sees in me now. No, hold on, I've got it backwards. First, she acts like it's a crime not to know her. Now she attempts to assert dominance over me by offering a handshake. At times like these, you just have to act fast or act first and everything later. All right. Dot 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 dot. Well, these things are fastened on pretty tight. Ah, at some point, my left hand had been planted between her horns. I'm not sure if my curiosity had reigned supreme in the flight, with appearance staked by her face flushes in my attempt. I swiftly shoved my hand back in my pocket. Shoved my hand in my pocket. You're really strange. Takes one to know one. Her smile is gradually but genuine in her doing so. I feel an intense pressure in my heart. Oh, she's going to leave now. See you around then. I don't manage to say anything else before she skips away. Before I know it, I'm staring at where her shadow lingers. This is ridiculous. Okay, all right, that's a stopping point, but I'm so glad I got to this part because she's so silly. I've been you know I'm so excited to get here. But this is the end of this part. Let's go back to the title while I talk, I think. But yeah, I had a good time reading. It is already it's quite a bit later, but I hope everyone's been doing well. And yeah, I'm excited to play more. Um, I'm sorry it's been so long. I was gonna post a day after my birthday, but then I did get busy, which was last week. So now I'm a week later, but I hope this is good enough. But I don't know. Like the video right now. Right now. You don't have to, but if you do want to, you can. But it also helps get this video out to more people. So, you know, we could spread the eventide. But I hope everyone enjoyed this one and has a super duper day. So good morning, good evening, and maybe good night to the late watchers. But I hope you enjoyed this one. So bye bye.